is Jacqueline, and I wanted to make this video for you today because this is my second child. I'm currently about 5.5 weeks postpartum from my daughter Isabella, but the first time around when I had my son, everything that I'm about to tell you right now was completely new to me. You hear so many things when you're pregnant and what to expect and different things like that, but for the first 48 hours after delivery, everything was like so new to me. So if you're an expectant mommy, if you have a friend that's an expectant mommy, feel free to share this video. It is kind of TMI. I am going to warn you about that, and it is probably if you're like me, stuff that nobody really talked about. So I don't want to like scare anybody, but I feel like if I would have known this in the beginning, when you know better, you do better. So I feel like if I would have known these different things, then it would have just made it a lot easier for me. I wouldn't have been so surprised. So all of that being said, I want to go into it. So basically, I had my daughter, I had a vaginal delivery, and I did have an epidural. So those are the two things that are kind of like unique to me. I'll say everything went very smooth. So they hand you your baby. So here I am, I have Isabella, I'm so excited, so you're distracted with your beautiful new baby. I did have an episiotomy, so that's when they use that like sharp scalpel instrument, and they cut you open a little bit to make you room for the baby. So so as you're holding the baby, that's when they stitch you up, so you're not really paying attention. I kind of felt it a little bit, but you're just so happy and euphoric from holding your child that you're not really thinking about it. And so so I did have a few stitches there, so that that was one thing. So now you have your daughter right away. They pull down your gown, especially if you want to breastfeed, which I exclusively breastfed my son. I wanted to exclusively breastfeed my daughter. So they right away pull your gown, they do the whole skin to skin, and then right away they put her on your breast, and immediately my daughter, she got a good latch. She started sucking right away, so that was really, really good. And then they just kind of leave you with her for just a few minutes before they take her to do the blood test. They prick their little foot. They kind of wipe them down a little bit, but it was actually my hospital's policy to not wipe them down completely, like not to give them their bath right away, which is completely different than when I had my son. With my son, they bathed him right away and then gave him back to me. With this time around, they left like the vernix, the little bit of blood that she had on her, all of that, they left it on her, and they said that it was to help build their immunity. So she's kind of like bloody and everything like that, but that just they just left her on there. They said it helped build immunity, so that that was one thing. So then, she's pretty much with you the whole time. They don't really take the baby away, which I liked. That was part of the reason we had her at this hospital, is they did everything within the room, which was so nice. Now, as far as, I was concerned pretty much within like the first 2 hours, you have to pee really bad. They take out the catheter on you. And by this time, this was, like I said, it was only about 2 hours post giving birth. So I had to go pee really, really bad. And so the epidural hadn't worn off completely yet. So they had to bring in like this little gurney thing. Gurney is not the right word for it, but it's just like a little, it looks like a walker, and you kind of get on it with your knees. So 2 nurses had to help me get on this little walker on my knees, because I couldn't bear weight on my legs. Yeah, I tried to get out of bed and I would have just fallen over, if they weren't both there with me. Because how it basically feels like when your leg falls asleep. You have like 1,000 little ants and your leg feels huge. So now once you go to the bathroom, it's not like normal. Your body does not return to normal right away. One of my friends told me, she's like, you had to think it took almost a year for your body to prepare to give birth. It's going to take like a year for you to feel like yourself again. And I found that to be so true with my son. But same thing, with my daughter. So now you have to go to the bathroom, and I have all my supplies here to show you, because it's not like, just go pee like normal. You're actually, you're passing a bunch of blood. You have, you have your IV liquids, so you have to pee really bad. You have a ton of blood still built up in your stomach, so that has to pass. So you're going to have a lot of blood clots. They tell you at the hospital, anything bigger than a golf ball, you want to let them know. But I mean, even if it's not the size of a golf ball, you can imagine they're still pretty big. So they give you a little squirt bottle here, and they fill it up with warm water, and either your nurse might have to help you or you, but you basically like shoot this up, you know, that way to cleanse yourself, because like you might tear, you might have stitches, you might have had the episiotomy like me, but in any case you can't like wipe yet. So this is to help, you know, cleanse you, to help soothe, you know, down there. So that is one thing. So this is going to be your best friend for like, it could be for the next few days, for the next few weeks, but pretty much every time you go to the bathroom, it's going to be like a 10-minute process. So this is going to, you know, help soothe everything. And then to kind of give you an idea of how much you're going to be bleeding, this is the diaper that they give you. And it's literally a diaper. So you can imagine if you need something this large, how much you're going to be bleeding, and you're just going to keep filling these up. And in my case, they gave you you know, like a bag with like everything that you needed, and it was like these pads, medium pads, and small pads, which these pads, and then this is the like the medium size, which is still, you know, massive. It's not, I mean, it's still like a depends kind of size, and then, you know, the small pads. With both of my pregnancies, I've never been able to walk out of the hospital with the small pads. I'm just now 5.5 weeks postpartum, and I'm just now able to wear like a regular Kotex, you know, you would get at Target. But, you know, I had to wear these. So you're passing clots, you have to, you know, use the squirt bottle. Also, they give you Tux pads, Dermasol spray, and this little like prescription numbing solution. So this is why it's such a long process. So not only are you kind of like, you know, feeble and like decrepit at this point, but the little Tux pads are like little cylinders, and these help so much. Oh, also they give you like a long ice pack that fits in your pad. You like twist it and it cools. The ones that they give me didn't get all that cold, so I ended up not using those pretty much hardly at all. But a lot of girls really like those. That really helps them. What I really ended up liking was these Tux pads, because they're cooling and they have aloe and witch hazel. And so what you end up doing, you end up like making like a little sandwich like in your pad, and you end up lining your pad with all of these Tux pads. Then you put the foamy stuff on your pad, and your nurse will be helping you with this for the first couple times you go to the bathroom. After that, you know, you're on your own. You know, and then your husband can help you, or whoever is helping you. So then you have the numbing spray, and then the Dermasol, then you spray on yourself. And this is very cooling, and this helps a lot. So my advice to you is get extras of all of this before you leave the hospital, because you will go through it. I went through everything they gave me at the hospital, and I had to go to the drugstore and, you know, buy some more Tux pads, buy some more Dermasol. But that's, you know, what takes you so long, you know, in the bathroom. So again, diapers, and then you're probably thinking, like, since these don't have straps, like, well, how do they stay on? So they give you like these mesh panties, these foxy little things right here. And so these are the best. I've seen so many like packed hospital bag videos, and everybody's like buying new underwear to like bring to the hospital. Both of my pregnancies, I was never able to like wear my own underwear. You're gonna be in these bad boys the whole time, pretty much, because you have to fit these giant pads. They're not gonna fit in your underwear, nor these. And this, so make sure you get extras of these when you go as well. And speaking about the bleeding, the nurses will also come in and they will like push down. Sometimes they'll use their hands and their fists and they'll push down, and what they're doing is they're checking your uterus. They're trying to get all that like excess, you know, blood out of you. So as they push, you like feel gushes come out of you, or when you stand up, you might feel a gush come out of you. And so they're just checking to make sure everything is okay, but they do this every few hours. So really post-baby, it's near impossible to get any kind of rest. You know, the baby's with you the whole time. The baby wants to be on you and comforted and soothed, and you of course want to hold your baby, so you're gonna have that. They're gonna be coming in, checking your vitals, refilling your IV, checking to make sure your epidural is wearing off. They're gonna be coming in with all kinds of paperwork for you to fill out the birth certificate. So you know, don't expect to get, you know, much rest afterward, at least in my experience. I had nurses coming in there, you know, I felt like every few minutes, really. So that was one thing. Also, if you thought you were swollen before your pregnancy, you're definitely gonna be swollen afterwards. So because of all the fluids and everything that they're pumping in you, you really do like blow up. With my son, none of the clothes I brought, my like pajama pants that I brought, my joggers, whatever, nothing fit me. They wouldn't go up my thighs after I had him. And mind you, they fit me fully pregnant beforehand. You're definitely going to be swollen, so keep that in mind with the clothes, you know, that you bring. Also too, you are going to be starving. You just pushed out a little human, so you're going to be starving, so make sure you have your husband or who's ever with you. I'll probably keep saying my husband because that's who was with me. You know, order you some food right away. A lot of hospitals have like a congratulatory, I think that's the word, congratulatory meal that they'll give you, you know, afterward, or you'll get to pick anything you want off the menu. So make sure he orders that stat so you can finally eat, because generally you're not able to eat anything, you know, obviously the whole time you're in labor, but even leading up to that. So you'll definitely want to get that. Also too, even though I breastfed my son for 2 years and, you know, now I had my daughter, I was still very sore. The first time when I had him, just him being on me constantly, you know, his saliva, you know, would dry me out. So I was sore, I had cracked nipples. They give you like lanolin to help soothe that. Also, make sure if you're experiencing the same thing, that you ask for a nipple shield, because that helps so much. It just gives you a little bit of a break. If your baby is having a hard time latching, that helps a ton, because it's a little clear shield and it fits right over, and it just makes a barrier between you and the baby, and it gives you some relief. You know, you won't want to use it all the time, and pretty much everybody kind of starts off with it and kind of are able to wean themselves off, but I needed it both times, and it just really helped. It just helped give you a break, you know, so you're not, you know, bracing yourself, because the baby can sense that. So if you like brace yourself every time, you know, the babies, you know, they don't like to feel startled, and they get startled. So if that can help you, I definitely suggest you use that. They also have like little gel packs to help soothe you. I didn't need the gel packs this time, but like I said, that nipple shield was such a huge help. But yeah, but basically you are just you're very happy, you know, like I said, you're euphoric, you're happy, but you're exhausted, you know, you're totally exhausted. And I remember with my son, I could barely had the energy to just hold him. I just like slept through the next day, and you know, my husband did the majority of the holding. This time I wasn't as exhausted, but you're still, you know, like I said, you just pushed out, you know, a little human. And so, you know, it's very emotional, you know, it's beautiful. You have your family there, everything. But definitely, you know, those things, I feel like, just so you have a, you know, a heads up about the kind of pads, about the bleeding, about the swelling. I think that's, you know, really helpful information, you know, for you to know, you know, if you're going to bring hospital socks with you or stuff to wear around the hospital. You know, if you don't want to wear the ones that they give you, make sure they're super stretchy, because like I said, you swell so much. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say about that. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a heads up. That way, you know, you weren't completely, you know, going into it blind like I felt like I was my first time. So like I said, if you think this video can help anybody, if you learned something new, if you feel a little bit more prepared for your first 48 hours, you know, after delivery, then awesome. I hope those little visuals helped you just to see exactly what to expect. So please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I have lots of mommy videos coming, and just different stuff. I like to make videos on tech and organization, lifestyle, things like that. So I would love to have you. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.